In essence, what she's calling us is liars. You can decide to believe the community group that were in there with the Premier, or you can decide to believe a group of bureaucrats and the politicians that have continued to let us down.
A community group demanding action on the youth crime crisis has celebrated a huge win, announcing a massive increase in support payments for victims. The problem is, Annastacia Palaszczuk's office says there's been a big misunderstanding.
I'm sorry, millions?
Millions.
Billions. Sorry, I don't mean to correct, but...
The Voice for Victims group now declaring they'll go to war.
This time, it's war.
A pledge from the Premier to increase one-off payments to victims of crime from $10,000 to $120,000, welcomed by the leaders of the Voice for Victims community group. Ben Cannon spreading the news on morning television.
It was a massive turnaround. We weren't sure that that's what they had agreed to. Last night the Premier said that that's what her understanding of it was.
And radio.
We've come away from that with huge confidence that we've been heard.
By mid-morning, it became very clear the government and Voice for Victims are not on the same page.
Just because I take a couple of selfies with fans.
A couple of selfies? We missed the entire movie because you have to take a selfie with everybody who asks.
So not true.
It is true. They didn't even ask.
I knew what they were thinking.
Mr Cannon, along with other representatives from the group, met with the Premier inside 1 William Street last night. It's there, they say, she confirmed the massive jump in one-off payments available. The Premier's office telling 9 News that's not what happened, referring to their announcement in September that payments for victims who suffer very serious injury will jump from $10,000 to $15,000, and the upper cap for financial assistance for victims will be reset from $75,000 to $120,000.
We wouldn't have had the meeting if we knew that the government's position would have been that all we're going to base it on is the press release that was a couple of weeks ago. I was very clear, and on a number of different ways I made sure that she understood what I was asking. Her advisors were in the same room, and if there was a misunderstanding in the room, that was their opportunity to air it.
In the meeting, the group also called for the member for Thuringowa to be removed from a youth crime committee after he said this at a rally in Townsville.
Half a year of bloody LNP anyway.
Comments the Premier has condemned.
You open your mouth, my fist goes south.
But the divide and disagreement on the payments will now set the tone for Sunday, when Voice for Victims will hold another rally at Queen's Gardens in the city from 10 a.m.
In essence, what she's calling us is liars. You can decide to believe the community group that were in there with the Premier, or you can decide to believe a group of bureaucrats and the politicians that have continued to let us down.
Jess, is the Premier going to attend the rally?
Well, the group asked if Annastacia Palaszczuk was going to be there on Sunday, but she has told them,
What am I doing? I promised myself I'd never go back. I am woman. I am strong.
she is unavailable.